Hello, everyone. How's it going? Let's let everybody know we're on. Let's go live on TikTok. How's it going? Good to see you. Hey, Sandy. Let's go live. Let's go live. How's it going? Trying to find some Integumentary practice exam questions for today and probably on Wednesday too. How's everybody doing? Hey, Chuck. Hey, Chuck. Hey, Twinkle. My shining star. Hey, Angel. Hey, Cece. Good to see everybody. I've got some notes here. Somebody took their exam and I hodgepodged some notes down on some sticky notes. What did I do with it? Okay. And let's see. Let me see if I can find some stuff. If you haven't already, please be sure you've gotten a hold of all the anesthesia modifiers, because there's a bunch of them in the HitPix book, and you've written those in somewhere around your anesthesia because you're going to need those during your exam. Common codes that were on the CPC exam, often they like to use the 00550 and the 00560. The 00500, they love all these 00s. Just be careful about when a patient's age is listed in the CPT code descriptor, then you don't need your qualifying circumstance code for a patient's age. So you need this number if a patient is younger than 1 year old or older than 70, normally on all anesthesias. But there are a couple of exceptions when they actually do have an age listed on the CPT code descriptor, then you don't use it. It is in your do nots, but sometimes people forget to look at their do nots during the CPC exam. Is there something else? Just knowing whether your procedure is closed or open is a lot of times some of the problems in this area. I just go through and I circle every time I see the word closed in orange, and then anytime I see it open procedure, then I circle it in green. Let's go over here to Integumentary. See if I can remember some of the stuff that she talked about. There was no fine needle aspirations on the exam. Know that there are several different debridements codes, but there's only one set of debridement codes that are for dead tissue. The rest of it is for like just infections or that kind of thing. Not that big of a deal. And then we do have a set of debridement that is only for fractured bones. So that's important. We would not pick a regular debridement if it happens to be a fracture. It's only going to be this 10 and the 11 or 12 code if it happens to have a fracture in it. there are some important words we need to think about when we're doing simple and complex or intermediate repairs on lacerations. They're gonna try to have an intermediate or a simple repair. And if you don't know that they can add irrigation to a simple repair, which turns it into an intermediate, then you might get that question wrong. So a simple single layer repair can turn into an intermediate if all you do is have to wash it out. So be sure you know that. That guideline is underneath the intermediate. The last sentence here that says that a single layer closure that is contaminated, which requires cleaning, irrigation, aka terms, can turn into an intermediate. Also, your intermediate, which is a layered closure, can turn into a complex repair if the doctor has to do extensive undermining. That means you take the skin and you make bevels out of it, or create a defect, or make a flap. Even though it's a layered closure, but we're having to pull and tug and make changes to the skin that we're trying to suture together, we can change it into a complex. If they say anything about any of these weird words right here, a nostril rim, a particular border, even retention sutures, if they add in retention sutures into an intermediate repair, that turns it into a complex repair. Any kind of avulsions or doing a debridement, again, in a layered closure, can turn it into a complex one too. So you got to pay attention to every little word sometimes in those integumentary questions, just to make sure they didn't make a rim, a border, a defect, a flap, or even just use retention sutures. Something simple like that will turn an intermediate into a complex, which moves your codes, and then you have to code a different set of codes. Let's see. She had quite a few, or a question that had the 15574 as a possible answer. And these are formatting flaps, the PDICLE, and other kind of flaps that could be delayed or that kind of thing. They also have some transfer flaps, mid-face flaps. I don't have a lot of practice exam questions in this general area. I have one example of a 55-year-old female who had a 1.5 basal carcinoma of the right lip. They did a flap, 2 stages of the procedure. We would use this one with the modifier 58. But if anybody has any practice exam questions in this area, I'd love to see them, especially if they come from AAPC. I'm still looking for some, but pay close attention. It will actually say in the question that they did a formation direct pedicle, whatever that says in the question. There's some other facial flaps over here that they might be trying to trick you with the island peptile, the muscle flap, a composite flap. So these can be possible answers, but the answer ended up being this one. Just be real careful. All of these are all flaps. Be sure you're under the right header. It's hard though because this is under flaps, skin, and deep tissue, where this other header for these is under other flaps and graphs. A lot of times AAPC doesn't like the word other or non-specific or NOS, so that's one thing to think of. Don't forget there's flaps in multiple locations in this book. And try to look under headers that are main headers, not other stuff we don't know where to classify. That's hard to do in the middle of the exam, and you only have these numbers and you got to go in like 120 seconds. Let's see some other codes that were on her exam. If I can think about what we all talked about during that. None of those. Let's see. We did our 61 portacath. Our portacath was on there, but they didn't say portacath. They used that new term that I told y'all about recently. It was power port. Where is that sucker? I know y'all know what that code is. I know it ends in 60 and 61. I don't know if I'm anywhere near the right areas or not. Is that it? That was the 60. No, that's not it. That was something else. Our infuse a port. Wherever that is. I may be not far enough back for it. I know a lot of people took their exams this weekend, so if y'all got any info about what kind of codes were on your exam, might help somebody else out. Yes, 310. Yeah, I just hadn't gone far enough back. Thank you, guys. So don't forget, this one could be called Infuse Support, Portacath, Life Port, and on the exam they took, it was online, I believe. It was also called Power Port. Power Port. And then you just have to go by the age, depending on whether you're over 5 or under 5. So Life Port, Power Port, Portacath, Infusaport. Let's see. Let me check up on chat, see what I missed. Should I get a current book or can I use the older one? When are you going to take your exam? If you are going to take your exam in 2023, you need a 2023 book. They will be out in about, 2 more weeks? Not even that. What's today? Today's the 4 more days. Gosh, time's flown. They will be out on Saturday. The new books will be. Order it from Amazon. It'll get to you faster. So the new CPT book, oh my gosh. This is my last 4 days without a new book. Oh, chest pains. Okay. Where do I find the hydration codes? I'll show you. Let's see. I scheduled my test for 10/22. I'm nervous, but I feel prepared. Do you have any tutorings opening the next weeks for my test? Ooh, Sandy. Sandy, Sandy, Sandy. I'm going out of town. The boys will be home from school October 9th through the 16th for fall break. Should be able to. Should be able to. Yeah, I should be able to. I'm not going for 2 more weeks. And you're going, and then we've got the week after I get back too. So it should be able to. Should be able to. Should be just fine. All right. Yep, that's the hydration code is our 96360 codes. Yes. Check if you are going to get take your CPC exam after January 1st. You'll need the 2023 book, I believe, for sure. I hope y'all can all see the video. I hope it's not just Sandy. Try rebooting your phone and then getting back on, or whatever device you're on. How long does it take? It took me 6 months to do all this, but you know, I'm kind of crazy at it. I'm doing it in the middle of job and tutoring and just busy life with 3 sons and writing words down for every single code. I mean, I go crazy with this book, so it takes me 6 months to do. But hopefully I'll be able to do it faster this year, because last year I was trying to type it all. So that didn't end so well. I gave up. Yeah, a good 4 months, you know, if you're not trying to type it all, I'm sure I can do it in 4 months. It's worth it though. I mean, as much time as you put in on these notes and get things down, then you don't have to second guess yourself. You'll know what the answers are. You'll have some examples to go by. I mean, it's worth it. You're spending $3.99 for the test, $190 for the membership, and then what, $300 at least for the books, and that's bare minimum without any kind of anything else at all. I'd like for you to get the AAPC study workbook. I don't care what year you get. Even if you can find a 2019, it's just as good as the 2022 version. If you can find one of these by Googling on, just Google and then do a search for shopping, you'll find some bookstores that actually have physical copies of this workbook. Any year, it does not matter what year you get, as long as it's the AAPC's real version. And this study guide is all the course you'll ever need for what's on the exam. And read that through one good old time, and then make notes. And I teach you how to do that. You'll go through when you get your very first, your 2023 book in. You'll go through it right away and go straight to every single parenthetical. And when it tells you to use a code with a code, you blue highlight it. If it tells you do not use a code with a code, you're going to red highlight it. Anytime it says the word each, you know that you can take that CPT code and multiply it. That will help you out, because it's really hard sometimes to figure out which ones you can multiply and which ones you can't. And when you find practice exam questions that tell you ones that do not have the word each in it, but that you can multiply, when you find those, it's helpful to write that in. But every time you see the word each, you know you can multiply. Other things you need to do is find the parentheses. So some CPT codes have a parentheses, some don't. Like this one does not have anything written in a parentheses, but the one up above does, with an EGD. That little Parentheses needs to be highlighted for every single CPT code throughout the book that has one. Sometimes they start out with the word EG, which is super helpful, but some of them don't have it at all, which is fine. But we need to go find all the parentheses and highlight those. After we've done that, we've done all of our do nots, we've done all of our do's, we have to go through and find all these red codes. Every single one of them has a code that's out of sequence, and you don't want to be caught finding one of these codes as a possible answer, getting to the number, because they're supposed to be in numerical order, and being told you need to go look through, this is 63 codes to find it, when it's easier just to tell you what page number it should be on. This one happens to be over 800 pages away from where it should be. Some of them are not that extreme, but a lot of them are, and you have to go through the entire book and fix that. That will save you time because you only have 120 seconds or so to get done with each question, and you don't have time to find a code that's not there and then have it be important and you need it. Then you got to go find it. I was tutoring somebody today, just an E&M, who had forgotten a few of them, and it was rough. You want to go through and you want to get to these and just have a page number. I put the column number there in too, because some of them are column 1, some of them are column 2, because each page has 2 columns. But you don't even have to do that. As long as you have a page number down, it's fine. And some of them will be on one page, another one will be on one page, and then another one will be on a different page. It's not going to be any rhyme or reason, and you don't want to have to go searching from all of these. There's just no way. If this was answer A, this was answer B, this was answer C, and this was answer D, you'd never find them all in time. You just have to guess. So that's rough. Got to do all that. Some of these parentheticals will tell you when to use a modifier and when not to. You need to mark those up. And a lot of things in some of the guidelines, like in cardiology, if you have not done this yet, you need to make sure you do this, is like on page 249, if you're in the 2022 book, has a list of a ton of codes, and the guidelines tell you that it includes scope, which means radiology, which means a 7000 code. Well, Aapc knows that this isn't marked underneath each code in a parenthetical like it should be, that you have to find that answer up here. No one's going to check guidelines after they've already been to codes back here. So the important thing to do is to go back here and write down that it includes radiology so that you know this code, we don't add 7000 to it at all. So that's super helpful during the middle of the exam. If you go through your guidelines, find anything that tells you when to use a modifier, when not to use radiology, and move that information to the codes instead of leaving it up here in the guidelines. That will help you out a whole bunch. When I start out in cardiology, I circle every single time I'm in an artery in red, and every time I'm in a vein, I order in blue. And then when I'm in both, I circle them both. That's 90% of your problem in cardiology, is figuring out if you're in a vein or an artery, or both. Then you can just pick how many after that. So it makes it a lot easier and shows up easier if you color code like that. It just takes time, but I promise it's worth it. In musculoskeletal, many of your fractures and items that happen are the same bone, same part of the bone. The only difference is whether the procedure is closed or open. So I circle all the closed words throughout the entire book. In orange, say stop, that's closed. And green for open, for when the procedure is open. An open procedure is when a doctor can physically see whatever it is with their eyes, meaning we've cut them open and we can look at them with our eyeballs. A closed procedure is when I stick cameras in you on these two sticks and I can look and fix your problem with my camera's eyes and not my physical eyeballs. And I didn't have to cut you open and then stitch you back up. So that's a laparoscopic, and this is, or it could mean I just manipulated it back into place, but that's going on there. And it's super easy to just go through and mindlessly circle in every word open green and then go through and do it orange, because that will help you out during the exam. When I find out if you can use one code with another code and maybe even with a modifier, I make little notes about it, which helps out. I find that information out from the AAPC practice exam questions that you will find too. I mark things, whether it's a foreign body removal, if it's, a partial or total, super helpful information that'll help you along your way. More opens, more closes. If something includes interpretation and supervision, then I know I don't need that modifier for our professional component. And that's super nice to highlight when we do know it's already in there, because sometimes you never know whether the interpretation in the report is included or not. This one's cool because I mark whether they're unilateral or bilateral, because if they're unilateral and I do need to make it bilateral, then I know I can use my bilateral modifier. Some procedures are bilateral and you wouldn't use it. So anytime you find out whether something is unilateral, mark it that way. There we got another artery, and look, I got an open procedure, or through the skin. When it is through the skin, I underline percutaneous. That means we went through the skin. So those are my straight lines for that. And look, use modifier 59 to denote different legs being treated. That needs to be moved down to the codes that it affects instead of being left up here. Because if we're doing multiple legs, we need to use 59 instead of our bilateral modifier. So that kind of stuff is super helpful. Angel says she has notes in like 50% and they're done. I'm still writing my notes in my book. It never ends. I know. I write in them after I even publish them and let y'all have copies of them or whatever. And then I'm still adding to them all throughout the year. And it makes people so frustrated. Like, my notes don't have that. I'm like, I know, but I found extra questions, or somebody else helped me out with some better information. Whoever, whatever it is I find through the internet or Googling or practicing or tutoring or realizing that goes with that, or I see a guideline that I didn't see before, it's always never changing. I do my best at some point to just stop and get them out there so that somebody can have something to help them throughout the exam, but I do still always am updating them all year long, no matter what. It never ends. But it will end for you guys. All you got to do is pass your CPC, and y'all will never have to look at one of these books again, because all this stuff is in the EHR, and you're just going to Google what the code is going to be, and it's going to be so much easier. I'm about to sign up for school. Is S-Tech school good, or should I go do something else? I don't recommend any schools. I recommend self-study. Just get that study guide from AAPC. It's got more information in it than any of their courses has in it. And just learn how to prep the books and practice those practice exams. So I recommend you buying their study guide for the certification you want to take. I recommend you buying their practice exam questions that they have for the certification that you take, and that's it. The rest, get the books and then prep them. I'll teach you how, and then I'll show you some tips and tricks on how to take the test from the exam point of view, and you'll be able to pass. Hey, Anointed. How's it going? Hey, MK. Good to see you. You also want... Anointed wants tutoring too. Oh my, I did a couple this morning. It was fun. I think I had somebody that was more hyper than me today. It was a lot of fun. She was just woo-wee. She's fun. She's a hoot, and she has a travel company, so like a travel agency. So if y'all ever want to go on a cruise or do anything like that, she is a hoot. So much fun. So I think what's the best way to study is to prep your codes. Really read these code descriptors for the entire book. If you don't know what a preparatory knee pelvic packing means, go look up that word, Google it, see what it means. It's just packing for a hemorrhage. If there's any words here you don't understand, Google them, figure it out. Google your codes, see what comes up. Also, the Knowledge Center at AAPC, amazing wealth of information. Let me see if I can find it real quick. So like, let me go. No, let me move my sticky notes. I can't type like this. AAPC Knowledge Center. Love it. So if you go to the Knowledge Center, you don't even have to be logged on to their account or to your account. You can just go to the Knowledge Center, and right there in this little bitty corner, like I could write skin flaps that I had today that I was working on. And just look up their Knowledge Center of what they've got on skin flaps. Check my dates. Make sure it's current, hopefully, information. But it looks like they've got stuff on something. Reimbursements versus a HitPix code. And they answer the questions. And they also give examples a lot of times on these. There's the tram flap that we talk about a lot. And it says S codes do not get included into bundled procedures. Very cool. They have usually some really, really good information about these. Let's see. Intermediate closure. Let's see what they got. Wound closures. Coding made simple. And see, they're going to talk about these wound complexities. They're going to talk about each one, define them. Then they're going to give you some examples. For example, let's do an intermediate with this and this. Here's you an example number 2. And I've seen some of these examples become practice exam questions or real in-life certification examples. And returning back to example 2, they'll tell you what the answers are. And writing these examples in your book, here's the 3rd example. We did all of that. How would you code it? You can find things in their Knowledge Center, how they like things coded and what they want things to be done in their own wording. And this is just invaluable. I often come here and look up code numbers. It's way better than their Codify if they've done a brief on it. Some subjects are not done, but the ones that are done, they'll go through and do a whole a whole thing about it with examples, and it's super helpful because sometimes just looking at multiple things can help you. Ooh, what is this on radiology? I just looked up another code for peritoneal lavages. And it's just seeing what I would get. Sometimes you don't know if codes are bilateral or not, and that's cool to look up too. And look, it's telling you which ones not to report. Just love it. I love there's some more coding examples. A 32-year-old and a MVA. Vascular access. Yep. Love their knowledge center. It's super helpful. Online exams are in one sitting, 4 hours, not broken up into 2 anymore. Alex was live and this was discussed. Yep. They are broken up into 2 until Friday is the last day. After Friday, they're no longer broken up into 2. You do get to go for a bathroom break during the 4 hours if you are taking it online at home, which is different than what we used to not be able to if it was broken up into 2 hours. They expected you to stay there on camera view the 2 hours, or 2.5 if you got an ADA. But yeah, that all starts in October 1st, starting Saturday. Feeling nervous. I'm not doing great on E&M. Oh, MK, don't stress. Hey, McGiggles. Good to see you. You got this. Are you able to work remotely as a coder? I've worked remotely since 2013. I don't see why not. Many people do. Many people have passed and already have jobs. Some contract work where that means no benefits, but they're getting their year in to get show history that they are a coder and work somewhere. The university in Cleveland, Ohio, it's a hospital, hires you before you get your CPC to train you how to do their ER coding remotely, but you have to have your CPC within the first 90 days. And they don't mean 91 days. They mean 90 days. You have to get your CPC and pass it by then in order to keep the job, but they'll hire you before you have a CPC. What should I start studying with if I'm self-studying? The study guide from AAPC. Get that workbook study guide is your very first thing. Then when the new CPT book comes out, you're going to start marking it up like I've told you and doing the practice exam questions that you can buy from AAPC. You just ordered it from Amazon today. Good job. I don't work now, and it's taken me about a month and a half to do every section, working on my book prep 5 to 7 hours a day. It's a full-time job. Yep, it's a 40 hours just to fix your out-of-code sequences, do your do nots, do your do's, highlight what is in the parentheses. That'll take you that long. Then you can Google each one of the body parts and then find out what their function is and then write in all their functions. You can find, short little helpful information like which items are in the small intestines, which one are in the large intestines, which one are accessory glands, just stuff like that to help out. We've got pictures of all this stuff and how to do it in our Discord group. If you haven't joined that yet, it's super, super helpful. You just download the Discord app, and I have practice exam rooms for whatever certification you're getting into, even the CCS people, CRC, whatever. I've got rooms that are free here for what to expect on exam day, E&M resources, CPT code resources, All these rooms have pictures of things that'll help you out, study buddies, case examples. We even have practice exam question rooms where you can go in and practice exam questions. Just a lot of free resources here. You can join that Discord by going to my website, medicalcodingbyjen.com. I don't know which page I'm going to be at real quick. If my internet works. Come on. Log in. There you go. I'm in the blog right now, so you can go to social media links at medicalcodingbyjen.com. You can join our Facebook group, our TikTok, our YouTube, and this is how to join our Discord. All that's free. All these repeat lives that I do get posted onto YouTube. There is a subscription now, but there's a free version of YouTube, but then there's a subscription for YouTube now too. If you want to be able to ask particular questions to me and have me make a video just for you based off what you need, you can do that. I think it's $5 a month. But you also get access to all the previous workshops. I'm working on posting those up for those people too. But the rest of the YouTube is all free. There's like 270 of my repeat lives on there that are crazy. I also have on YouTube last year when I was going through the book and was going code by code in the middle of the night, prepping the books. I have a lot of the medicine section, the lab and path, and some other sections here under my live videos. So if you go to my videos and sort by lives, you'll be able to see where it says book prep medicine, book prep lab and path, book prep musculoskeletal. I'm going code by code and writing my notes, and you can go through those and copy that information. Or of course you can go to the shop and buy them if you need them page by page, but I like to show you guys how to do it yourself. On my website too, if you go to the members page, which is free, CPT book prep, it's pictures of my pages. And then if you click on it, it'll tell you what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and how to go through it and do it on your side too. So I go through the ICD-10, the CPT book, the hip picks here showing you what you need to do. And I even have some one sheet guidelines for some of the coding guidelines there too. That's all free for you. Let's see. But book prep is a necessary evil. Do book prep first, use the study guide, and go chapter by chapter and follow Jen's live. There you go. What will this video go on YouTube? Yep, it sure will. And can you tell me where 99190? I can't find the page number. Huh? 99091? Are you talking about the page number where the code is at, or the page number where the code is supposed to be? That's an adventure. That's an adventure you need to find, and it is up in the E&M section. So go to your E&M section and find it up in the front of your book. That's the one that's 800 pages away from where it's supposed to be. I'm not going to tell you what page number. You got to search for it. I put blood, sweat, and tears to find that page number. The first year I did this in 2019. Oh my gosh. Never like to have never found that code, but it's up here. It's up here in your E&M, and E&M is a small section. You'll be able to find it. Somebody already said what page number. Write the page numbers next to them. Yep. Any group tutoring. Not right now. I'm way too busy right now. I am trying to be able to do another group session, which those are only $10 when I do them in October, but it looks like I'm not going to be able to do it till the 23rd of October, which is right after somebody's exam on the 22nd, I think, right? Oh. It's just really busy right now. I've got auditing season coming up, and man, I'm still behind on everything else here. So, and the boys are fixing to be out of school for 10 whole days again. It seems like they just started, right? In August. Always look at a range of codes next to the out-of-coded sequence. And wait till they don't give you a range and they tell you it's in some stupid chart somewhere. And then they don't tell you where that stupid chart is. Oh, those out-of-code sequences in Lab and Path are the worst. I just finished the AAPC course. How long do you think I should wait until I schedule my exam? Anna, how are you doing on the practice exam questions? If you purchased exams A, B, C, D, E, and F, and if you are at 90% when you take all those exams, then I would try it. If you are not getting 90% on those exams, and I'm talking about these little things that you buy, the 50 questions each, and you go through and answer them all, and you are at 90%, then great. If you can get all these green check marks, check, and you're doing the monthly magazines and you're getting 90%, then you're good to go. If you're not and you keep missing them, you need to go through here and find out why the wrong answers are wrong too. What wording is going on here? Why would it be wrong? And figure that out too. Sometimes that can help out a whole lot too. Not just memorizing which answer is correct, but making notes, looking for your AKA terms that could be in here, like wheezing. Wheezing is often an observation diagnosis. Rapid heartbeat. I write those words around my observation E&M codes so that I know that oftentimes when I see that diagnosis, we could be in observation because no one's in the ER. And even though it may say ER 19 times in the question, usually they've been admitted for observation for the exam. So those kind of things. Go find out why this is wrong. What wording is making it wrong? What guideline says we're not supposed to use the R code with the Z code? Because that is a symptom. We have a diagnosis. You know, those kind of things make a big difference. Which one goes first? Which one goes second? Learning all about all you can from these questions is super helpful. If you've done exams A, B, C, D, E, and F, you've gone through all of them and you are at your 90% and you tried your CPC exam and you failed, you've only got one more shot, then I've got some other tools that you can use along with tutoring to help you prepare for your second attempt. So just have to contact me at that point. What books would be able to use for testing? That list is on the AAPC website. You need to stay up to date on that. It's also posted in our Discord group on what to expect on exam day. We have their list there. I also have the speech that the proctors will give you during your CPC exam on what you can and cannot do. You can read through that. It's all there. It also depends on which certification you're taking. If you're taking the CRC, you only bring in your ICD-10. If you're doing CPC, then you're only bringing in 3 books. If you're doing CCS, you have to bring 4 books. So it depends on your certification. So be sure and check with your website that is doing the certification. the one you paid the money to sit for the exam. Get that legit list from them. That way you know exactly what you can take. I will tell you, if you are taking an AAPC exam and you are not getting the AAPC version of their ICD-10 book and their hip picks, you're at a disadvantage. You really need their versions of the book because some of their test questions are from their information they put into the book specifically. If you test with Optum or some other books, you might be at a disadvantage for the AAPC exams. Oh, hey, Anointed. You start your CPT course on 10/24. I hope you love it. What you need to do is save every single one of your practice exam questions from every single chapter. Every one of them. Copy them, paste them into a Word document, and save them so you can re-review them when you're not under a time situation and you're not having to hurry up and get through with the course. This would be excellent practice for your exams. And, even if you just highlight, copy, and paste it to a Word document, that's all you got to do. And then just save it for later. That's it. Okay? Super helpful. Then you can mark which one was the answer and come back later for more. Right? Then you can review it later. That's the meat of your course. Save every single practice exam question. That's going to be more important than reading all that chapters and watching all those videos. Thanks, guys, for helping out. I'm just reading y'all's text. Yep, AMA is the only one that makes the CPT book. But don't buy it from AAPC because they charge you $25 to ship it to you. Get it from Amazon. They have it for just a little bit cheaper and they ship it to you for free because it's over $35 and you don't need an Amazon account. So get it from Amazon. 2023 version though. If you're going to take it starting in January of next year. If you are planning on trying to take it in the next 2 months, 3 months, October, November, December, 3 months, and you haven't made any notes in any books yet, I don't know if that's a goal that anybody can achieve. Thank you for the 4 roses already. Whoever did that, I missed it. I'm sorry. I was talking away. Thank you so much. I'm sure it'll tell me at some point. And thank you for the 4,000 likes already. Y'all been tapping away at y'all's fingers on this screen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All the likes and shares make TikTok happy, and so they don't lose my lives. I love it. We like to keep them happy. You've been using Pocket Prep and you love it. That's a wonderful tool too. It's just overwhelming, and I don't want you to go there first. I really want you to concentrate on AAPC's practice exam questions A, B, C, D, E, and F. Get those under your belt. I don't want those forgotten. I want you to make notes on all of them, find out what all the wrong answers are wrong, really go through them. If you're still not passing or have a score that you need, yes, Pocket Prep has AAPC exam questions too. Really good value for the money, and they got a money back guarantee. I do like them. It's just overwhelming because that's 500 more questions when AAPC gives you 300 that you can buy. So that's 800 questions, and you can get lost in a tunnel of 800 questions and not focus on your weakest parts, and just be answering questions and not taking in that info like you should. So be careful. Don't buy everything. Thank you. Anointed, you got us 50% of the way. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Anointed. You're awesome. You do that every single time. Hey, Jess, you did too. Thank you so much, Jess. Hey, Go-Karts, good to see you. Can you advise me on how to prepare for my writ am? You're going to be doing, the main thing is, just like I teach everybody here, is you will be better served if you go to the answers first. If you go to the answers before you read the codes, read the question, and then try to answer your question, you'll be better off. If I was just looking at this question that we were playing around with earlier today, I would see that 3 of them have the same answer, at least as far as the ZOO in the front. I know that R is an anomaly, and I also know that I have a guideline that if I have a diagnosis, I'm not going to use an R code. I would use it, I would use a real code. If they're here for a wellness, we know that that's going to be our first code. Anyway, that's a coding irregularity. We would never code it that way. And I would keep to these similarities. Then I have these 2 as similarities, and I would get rid of this one because of that. Then I would find out, do I need to add my symptom code or not? And I would just check my question. Do they have a significant symptom that needs to be documented? And probably, since the parent has history of asthma, since the kid has come in wheezing today, we probably do need to document that. So D is our answer. It's easier to go to the answers first and ration out what is logical, what is not a coding irregularity, what is our similarities. No matter what exam, you could be taking social studies or something, and if you go to the answers first, rationale out what did we have lessons on this week, what would be correct, what was that one correct statement that they said this week, before you go in here and reading about a 6-year-old and blah, 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 and a hemoglobin check. You're carrying all these words with you to the next question, when all I needed to carry with me, if you do it my way, is just wheezing and asthma, family history. Take 5 words with you to your next question instead of 50 words with you, because you will get brain fatigue if you try to read all these questions from beginning to end and then go to the answers and look up the codes. It's not going to bode well for you at all. So no matter what exam you're taking, you need to practice going to the answers first and trying to take your exams that way. That will make your exam more accurate, and you won't have as much brain fatigue, but it takes practice. You can't just outlearn a way that you learned to take an exam since we were little bitty in kindergarten. We were taught to read the answer or read the question and then go to the answer. It's been bred in us for so many years. We really have to outlearn that, to quit focusing on the question, stop looking at it, and go straight to the answers. And only look at the first few digits of the answer. Some of those questions can have 15 code long answers. You don't need to freak out about it. Just start with the first 3 digits of every single answer and work your way that way. I learned so much just by listening. I'm ready to order my books and get started. Yay, Jess, I'm so excited. That's awesome. Do you have to know all the CPT codes from memory? Absolutely not. We are not in elementary school, and we are not reciting the Declaration of Independence here. It is an open book exam. You don't even need to know how to code to pass this exam. That was my goal. I am a medical auditor. I did not ever want to be a coder, never want to be a coder, and absolutely refuse to know anything about billing. I don't even want to know anything about billing. But I get asked all the time at medical conferences, are you a coder? Because nobody knows what the heck a medical auditor is. And just to get people to be quiet and say, yeah, sure, and get them to leave me alone so I can move on with my conversation and not have to explain what I do every single time I go to one of these conferences, I decided to get my CPC. And I never wanted to learn coding. So I audited the exam. I went in the first time to take my exam in person. I went through that exam and I highlighted all the codes that were possible answers on my exam. I came home, audited those codes, and tried to figure out what's some similarities. Why did they pick these codes? What's a consistency that I noticed, like not elsewhere specified, usually never was really a good answer. They never did pick that one as a correct answer. What would be the differences between these codes? I audited the exam from the exam point of view, just so I could go back, retake it my second time, and pass, just so I could have it. So you can actually take the exam from the way that I do it by just going to the answers first. I have one-word differences written in beside each one of the codes to let you know what you need to know about it. That's all you need to know about it, so that you could just, I'm either doing a foreign body here, or I'm doing a cyst removal here, or I'm doing an abscess. That's all I need to know. And I look through my question, I'm doing an abscess. Great, it's got to be this code, right? Move on with the next question. I don't know how to code as a coder. I don't work as a coder, but I wanted to pass the exam. So yeah, you don't need to know any of these codes by heart. You will get to know a few. There's certain things that I do like y'all to know by heart, is like if it's an E&M code with a 0 in it, right here is your next to the last code. You know right away that's a new patient, and then we have our established patients have the 1 in them. So those kind of things I kind of like for y'all to memorize, but you technically don't need them. Your header's right there. That's a new patient. Your other header is right there for the established patient. We always look at our headers before our CPT code descriptors, no matter where we're at in this book. You could be back here in respiratory, and if your codes are this code versus this code, you better not be just looking at the CPT code descriptors, because this one's under destruction. These over here are going to be under incisions. So if you see any scalpels going in cutting anybody, you know your answer is going to be under this header, which is over here, where your destruction and destroying crap is going to be the answer for this one. Headers before descriptors all day long will save you on these. Thank you, V, for the rose. Love it. Anyone answered? Thank you. I'm finding all out of sequence coding. Y'all don't give out too many hints. Y'all make them suffer just like we all had to suffer. No, I do have a document you can buy too that gives you a picture of every single out of the code sequence with the page number written down beside it too, if you really got to get it done fast. But of course, come to our Discord chat room and just ask, what page number is such and such code on? People are always there 24/7 to help you out. Allie learned categories 1,000, 2,000 codes. Yep. Which is the hardest section on the exam? I don't like medicine, because medicine is a hodgepodge of all kinds of stuff back there, and I especially do not like allergy injections. I can never code those things right. But probably the neuro back, where you're doing, what am I doing? There's some spinal injections back there in the back where you're either doing segments or interspaces, and one code you will do like a 51 modifier, and then it's add-on code for an additional interspace or an additional segment will be an add-on code, but that one, if you're doing additional, then you multiply the second code or the third code. When the first code, you use the 51 or whatever modifier. I think those spinal ones are the worst. They took me the longest to learn. I don't know how to code or the answers, like to explain them 100% all the way through the entire book, but I'm really close. That was one of my last hurdles to get through. If I could just figure out the differences between the venoms and the stinging versus the food allergy injections, because the parent code is a food allergy where one of its children turns into venom. What? How can a food injection turn into a venomous thing biting you? I still struggle with those, and I just have this closed mindset about them because I don't think the codes are written properly in the book. But sometimes it takes me a long time. You know, when I passed my CPC exam, I refused to learn E&M. It was just too much. And I refused to learn Mohs surgeries in Integumentary. And, of course, I could not find any of my out-of-code sequencing codes for lab, path, and medicine. No one told me, and I paid for a lot of information, too, from some very notoriety people out there that sell information for years, decades, to help out people doing CPC. And I paid for a year's worth of their information. No one told me to fix those out-of-code sequences, ever. And I followed the Facebook Aapc chat religiously. Every time somebody said they passed, I searched through all their posts to see what tips they had. And so I literally knew nothing about E&M, could not find any codes in lab and path and medicine when I took my exam, and I meant to pass. And I refused to learn part of Integumentary, and I still passed. So there's hope. Promise. All right. Open book, multiple choice. That's right. Failed to manage time. Yeah, you got to really manage your time. You got to watch. You need to do how many questions per hour now? Is it 20? Is that right? No? That ain't going to get it. It's 25, huh? We need 25 questions per hour. And that's, you know how many minutes are in an hour. That's just, it's fast. It's fast. Time goes so fast. So fast. I have 2 AAPC medical training books. Can I use them to study? If they are actually published from AAPC and it's their study guide, that's the only one I recommend. There are a lot of people stealing information from AAPC, publishing crap and putting it out there and making books that are not worth it. I do have it posted on my Facebook post under Medical Coding by Jen. Medical Coding by Jen. That Facebook, I started posting up books what not to get that people are selling. I can't find ABCD test. Okay. So, sorry. What you do is we're going to go to certifications. Let's see, training. Yeah, let's go to CPC training right there. You're going to go to Start Here. When you do, there'll be a sidebar. Come on, Internet. Right here where it says Practice Exams. You'll go right there. Right here in the middle, it's got your CPC. All you do is check that one and check that one. That's A, B, C, D, E, F. Do not check that box. Just check this one, hit it to your cart, purchase them. Once you do purchase them, you're going to go to AAPC. You're going to go to Purchased Items right there. When that comes up, you're going to click on this tab that says Items. They have exam vouchers and receipts. Just click on Items. And they're right here. A lot of people that have courses or bought certain courses from certain people do not know they have these here. And you need to have exam A, B, C, D, E, and F. Start with those before you do anything else if you're doing CPC. I buy for all their certificates, whatever they have, a practice exam question. I buy them all. The CIC are posted here, but they're actually not done here. They're done on Blackboard because they're fill in the blank. I cannot imagine doing that certification. It just sounds terrifying. No. I like my A, B, C, or D. I don't want to fill in no blanks. No way. And they're so testy. If your space, bar, or comma is in the wrong spot, even though your numbers are correct, they still count it wrong. Oh, Lord. No, I would not like the CIC certification. I know a ton of people took it this weekend. I'm hoping that they passed. My CPC course starts in November. I can't wait. Thank you so much for being here to help. Just save every single practice exam, chapter review, question you've got, everything that you've got, every little practice exam that you've got. Oh, I don't have it open right now. Never mind. Every single one. Copy, paste, copy, paste. $20 different. Bought it from Amazon. Great. Knew it was a little bit. Process of elimination helps out a whole bunch. Plus looking at the answers first, looking up the codes, seeing what those differences are, and only looking for that difference through the exam question is so helpful. I did. Yep, she did all those. Go kart. I'm 59 messages back. I'm not going to be able to catch all those. So if I missed your question, just have to repost it because I can't look back that far. I just missed them. Let me see. What's some of the other stuff that I had? Okay, we had power port device was on her exam. Oh, God. What else was on her exam? She had burns. She had third degree burns on her exam. Diabetes, but it was not noted which diabetes the patient had. So we have a guideline with that. If it does not say diabetes type 1 or diabetes type 2, we have a default, which is type 2. Be sure to know that. She had a COVID question on her exam, which was an asymptomatic patient with COVID. What would you code if you had an asymptomatic patient with COVID? Anybody know the answer to that one? It's an ICD-10 one. No symptoms. I'm just seeing what y'all have to say. let's see, where is our knowledge system? Updated booster, vaccines, Moderna, COVID vaccines. Some people are saying 007, yeah. Boosters. I like their knowledge center. They have here about the RSV versus COVID. And then, did they say anything about diagnosing it? Acute bronchitis with COVID. They have a lot of interesting so acute respiratory failure due to COVID with, yep, I have that one. I noticed in my notes, I have like this huge thing for COVID. Oh, and just finding those codes behind all the Z's, I get people like, where is it? I can't find a UOO code. Well, it's behind all the dang Z's. I have all these notes for COVID, and then I've got this one. Let's see. No positive COVID test, code just the symptoms. That's perfect. Positive COVID test, but no symptoms. Our answer is the UO 7.1. How would you decide this scenario? We have a lady who, at work, one of their coworkers is now quarantined due to a positive COVID test. So the other coworker comes into the office because one of their coworkers is now quarantined for COVID. Would you diagnose that as possible exposure with an 818, or would you do that as an actual exposure with a 828? I'm not sure on that one. I'm thinking that if you live with someone, that's actual exposure, right? Being a coworker, I mean, it depends on how close their activity was to you. But that's all the info we have. Hold on, my children.
Can I have an apple juice?
Yes, you can have an apple juice.
Yay.
I owe you one from yesterday for the gym, I believe, right? You never did come get one?
No.
Okay.
I do.
So I don't know what the answer was. Somebody else had, I'm not sure if it's the same person, had that question on their exam about a coworker. And I'm like, what would you do? Would you do the possible exposure, or would you do actual exposure? Because we don't know how close they were in working area. Have y'all ever done that before or coded that? Yes, do not tab. Those things get in the way. Good gracious. Anybody selling you tabs? That's just ridiculous. Nobody tabs their books. There's no reason to. That's just a waste of 40 hours right there. Don't tab your books. No. Y'all think it's actual exposure? Possible exposure? I know. You can't really prove it. I mean, if you live with somebody, in the same household, that's exposure. Working with a coworker who worked across the plant, and y'all maybe had break time together or something, maybe, it's still not like, it's no more exposure than you would get walking into Walmart right now. I don't know. I'm too much of an auditor to distinguish that. I would try to pick the possible exposure because, I mean, I don't know. The question just doesn't give me enough information. And I don't know if we got any guidance on that or not. So anyway, that would be a very, very hard question. I don't know what to tell you on what the right answer is going to be, but it's on somebody's exam. But you know now what the answer is if they're asymptomatic positive for COVID. It's your U07.1. So you know that one. I hope you don't get the coworker one because I'm like, well, I haven't Googled it yet for Quizlets, though. I wonder if Quizlets has it. That's another place you can look. You just have to be very careful because sometimes the answers aren't right. Asymptomatic. I wonder if they've got it listed here. Quizlet flashcards for COVID. Asymptomatic? Oh, Healthline's telling me. But I'm looking for Quizlet. It's COVID guideline. You found it? Quizlet's not updated. I know. They're usually not. Did y'all find a guideline? Does it actually say? But do you pick possible exposure or actual exposure? Why would they even have two different ones? You saw it in a guideline. Exposure. Possible exposure. I would pick positive, but you don't have a definite time when the exposed took place. See, your exam is going to come to you like this. How will those tabs help you? All your questions are going to be codes, whether they're diagnosis codes, HIPICS codes, ICD-10 codes, all that. You're just going to be going number to number, and the book is already in numerical order. Those tabs are to help you if you need to index something and you need to physically code something without the answer. The exam is already coded for you and it's already answered. You just have to pick out the right answer. And you just need to get to the numbers quick enough, like the 298. You just need to get there to the 298. And all those just have integumentary, cardiology. I mean, we know which ones by the color code already. You play around in this thing. Integumentary is green, musculoskeletal is orange, yellow is the respiratory, digestive is purple, green is the cardiology, and you putting that little sticker in your way is going to get in the way of you finding your numbers that you're going to need. Just going from number to number. Plus, it's time that you could be spent at doing your auditing and writing down the differences in those codes for sure. I think that time could be spent writing down your differences in codes for sure. Actual or suspected. If it says like more if person didn't spend much time with them. See, we're not getting that much information. All we're getting is a coworker. Just like, are they at Little Caesars Pizza? One's a front desk cashier handing out the pizzas and the other one's in the back cooking all the pizzas. I don't know how much exposure. There's no time spent. All you've got is a coworker. It says nothing else other than that. Just trying to help y'all pass the CPC exam, the most efficient, least expensive, and, the most efficient and time-saving way for sure. Let me get up here to the top of these questions and get started for tonight. Let's see how we can do. Looks like we've got another Moz. That's good. So if I finish with cardiology, there will be no more of those questions later on. Cardiology continues on to medicine section. I hate medicine. And you might have an Appendix L question because they want to know if you understand the appendixes to the CPT book. Medicine section has quite a few heart catheterizations and stuff in the back, but in general, yes, you're done with cardiology and that section, and then you move on to another section for sure. But you might have to do a few more cardiology, but it'll be medicine. All right. Yep. There's no bouncing back and forth. You're just going to go through each section. You'll start out with your anesthesia, your E&M, your integumentary, and your musculoskeletal will be part 1 and respiratory until Saturday. And then you'll go through the book pretty much in order. Sprinkled in between each section will be hit picks and ICD-10 and vocabulary terms. In between there, my exam started out, both of them, with anatomy terms right out of the gate. First 2 questions were anatomy. And then we did a ton of anesthesia. Back then it was 10 questions in that little section. Don't get nervous. So what are we doing here? What's with these codes? I know the first 2 are Moz, right? What's the 17? And those are the closest. So let's check out our question and see if we're Moz, right? And we are. Moz, however you say that. So we just need to know a location, right? Because we've got a difference between the 11 and the 13, and that's just a body part. So where is our nose? Is it an 11 or a 13? This one goes on for quite a while. We're going to be in 11. Our noses are in the 11 because 13 is just trunk and extremities. So, yep, I'd feel confident, pick out my 11 and move on with my day. This one, they only removed one thing from the body. There was only one stage, and then they cut up that stage into how many pieces? How many pieces did they cut it up to? I know it's going to be less than 5 because we didn't need our 15 code. Yep. Frozen sections. Yep. How many times did they cut it up into? I know it's in here somewhere. 2 tissue blocks. Yep. And it looks like a plastic surgeon, a different doctor, is going to come in and do a graft over that area. So that would be a totally different thing coded somewhere else. All we were asked to do was to code from this operative report. And the report does not state any surgery about the graft at all. It just says who's doing the graft. There's no documentation of the graft. So we're not going to code that. It just says we handed the patient off and another doctor we'll finish that. So that's cool. A is our answer. All right, let's go see what's going on with these codes. 15879. 15879. We've got other procedures, right? What header are we under? Other procedures. That's not helpful. Doesn't tell us a whole lot. 79, 78 are our closest. So we got upper and lower extremities. Let's see what we did. What did we do? Nope. And there was nothing to add or multiply in Mohs. We do not at all. Mohs have their own set of guidelines, different from all of Integumentary. So we're doing thighs. So our thighs, upper extremity or lower? Those are lower. She's not getting liposuction, is she? Oh my, I need some of that. And she's getting bilateral too. Oh my. Lower extremities. So I like our 79. What do you guys think? And since we did do bilateral, we're going to add our 50 modifier. Hey, Lester. I like it. Here's our procedure. Good Lord. Lots of writing there. They used some glue and steri strips. Somebody's going to be sore tomorrow. And A is our answer. Hey. Yeah. Good boy. Good boy. You leave Chloe alone. You leave Chloe alone. I'm talking to a cat. Trying to integrate him in the crew here. He's still testing the waters. Here's our next one. Not always. If they do use adhesive strips or steri strips while we're doing an E&M visit, then we don't bill for it. But you would have to see a history taken out, an exam of all the body parts of the patient, and a decision being made before you build an E&M visit. So to be careful on that. Just because they use steri strips, that's just included in a regular procedure anyway. We wouldn't bill for that. It's included in the CPT code, just like the suture material is included. It's all included in the surgery. That's my good boy. That's my good boy. Yeah. All right. Our next one, what's going on with these 15-1s? That 15-2 looks out of ordinary, so I'd start with my 15-1s and see what's going on. Be good. Ooh, it's trash can day. I got to take the trash cans down. I got to text this out while I'm thinking about it. All right. My difference is my 15/100 is, I don't know where. Where are we at? 15/100. There you are. Split thickness. Then our 10 is an autograph. We're driving the car. Autograph, we're split. Our 40 is, I don't know where. Oh, that's a 52/40. That's why. 120. 120. Oh. Is also a split thickness autographed. So it's probably a difference between those two split thicknesses. What did we do today? We did a what? We did a split thickness graph, like I said. Okay, what's our differences between the 20 and the 100? 100 is trunk, arms, and legs. So is the 10. But one of them has an epidermal autographed, right? No. 120? 120. That one's face. Yeah, that's right. It's just face, eyelids, neck, and all that good stuff. So where did we get this from? Ankles. Ankles, ankles, ankles. Where would our ankle biter be? Yep, ankles are only in the 100 through, yep. And so we ended up doing a 16 on this one too. And look at our throwaway has the answer that we needed for our true answer. It's kind of interesting that the oddball always ends up having something in it. Yeah, size and location, that's all you needed. Yep. You just needed to know if you were a split or an autographed and then where your location was. Super easy. D is your answer. Got tons of explanation on that. But the easiest thing to know is just looking. Am I doing an autographed or split? Divide them up. That one was auto. This one was auto. Yep. All right. Let's see. We've got 16s and 14s. We should know what our differences are here. Just learning a little bit about that kind of stuff helps. We've got our benign excisions or benign lesions, which can be neoplasms to congenital cystic lesions, those kind of things, to our malignant lesions, which can be basal cell, squamous cell, melanoma, those kind of things. First, let's see, are we cancerous or not? We are cancerous, so we can easily get this down to a 50-50 shot. We just need to know our differences between our 43 and our 44. And that is just in size. How big are we doing? How big? We are definitely. You know, Kenza, it's all fun. All fun and games. Yep. Go by our size. A is our answer. Tons of explanation there. But just because our closure and our excision, both the 3 and the 4 centimeters right there. Yep. Equals our 44 all day long. All right, muscular skeletal. What have we got going on here? We've got some 772s and some 775s. Let's go see. Sammy, Sam, Sam, Sam. Oh, Sammy. Lester, be nice. Oof, that face, Sammy. My cat is not happy. Getting some glares. 7, 7. 7, 7. 772s. 772s. 22 and 24. 24 was on my CPC exam. Are we doing a repair of a non-union tibia? Or with the 58 and the 59, are we doing open treatment? And they're all about the tibia shaft. All of them are all tibias. All tibia information. The diagnosis code probably could help you out easier than the CPT codes. I do see our iliac crest. And I do see one of our CPT codes does have iliac in it. It doesn't have the word crest, but you can write that in above it. It says it's an autograft, which means we're in the driver's seat. They did an open reduction with a bone graft. It's all we need to do, and we knew we were having non-union. Yep. I like our 24 too. Just going to S82 would also help out. So with the diagnosis codes, it can be a lot easier, instead of looking at all the CPT codes, just to run to your S82. And don't go down to the individual little digits of those diagnosis codes, down to the 5th and 6th and 7th digits. Just go to S82, your big mama thing, because your main code right here, S82, is going to have all those modifiers here. And we had a difference between two of them were in. One of them was an S and one of them was a P. So sequel or subsequent also had subsequent encounters, but that non-union, and this was delayed in healing, and this is malunion. That fracture was a non-union. So you could have gone to the diagnosis and been able to eliminate these two codes and kept the two with the non-union. Then it would have been just a difference between the 59 and the 24, which might make things a little easier, because sometimes the CPT code descriptors get crazy. And then the 59 was a treatment with an implant. And we did have an implant, but we had a graft, not like interlocking plates and screws and, metal plate and stuff like the 59 is describing. The 24 is a bone graft from the hip. So they used part of the hip to fix that tibia. Oh no, you got a hurricane coming your way. Oh my. It is 8:16 here in lovely Arizona. And it is sunny and hot. As always, it is 95 degrees and clear. Never rain, no cloud in the sky. My goodness. Good boy. Yeah. Are you purring? Are you purring? This cat is so big, he can't fit on a cat bed. Look at Lester. I wish it would focus in on him. He's a hot mess. He's got stitches on one of his eyes from getting an eye treatment. He had entropia. Entropia. I wish it would focus. There we go. Lester. Lester. Can they see your eye? He had a turning in of his eye. Yeah, and he had surgery. And I got a cat hiding up in there. That's Chloe. And then Sammy's up on the bed. He's mad. He does not like the new stranger cat, but he's a beast. He's a big old boy. He's a big old boy. He was locked in a 2-foot cage since April of this year. And we went and rescued him. All right. He gets his stitches out on Wednesday. Our answer is A. And there is a ton of rationale on this one for you, too. Yep, he had the inward turning of the eye, and he had it fixed. I got too many, Miss Tiffany. Too many. I lost one and inherited a whole bunch when I did that. I got 2 sisters and 2 brothers. Ooh, lab, path. What have we got going on here? What is this? We got codes from all over. We got 288 threes, though. The 25 and the 29. Oh, I've seen this question before. I bet a lot of you have. So what is our differences between these? This one's like microscope or something, and this one's records, right? Thank you, Twinkle. Yeah, this one was on Debbie's exam, but that was in April. So it was the actual question from her certification exam back in April or May when she took this one. And since we are doing something that involves patient records, we know our answer is 25, just based off the CPT code descriptor. Yep. Super easy one right there. Let's see. We've got ER. I'd be hyper looking at the 284s since we have 2 with the same answer. If I'm going to do an ER, I need to do 3 of 3 components. So I need to look up my history for this patient. I need to look up their exam, and I need to look up their MDM so that I can bill a level visit of their E&M. So I'm going to search the question just for history, see if I can't find history. And right here I've got a detailed history. Detailed goes with, is that 84? Is it? Oh, I'm bending pages. We will be sending tons of hurricane wishes that it just, it's like a summer breeze on you. We had a huge monsoon come through here, and we were out of power for, I don't know, 20 hours. And Lord, it wreaked havoc here. Our detailed history is an 84, so we can write 84 here. Our exam is an expanded problem focused, so that's lower, right? That's going to be our 83. We got 2 83s. And then our MDM, what did we say our MDM was? Moderate. So our moderate Is that on both of them? It's both 83 and 84, but we can put 84 down here. But we still have to bill our 83 because our exam is super low. So we'll have to get rid of those that I thought it might be. It's going to be our 83. Then we just have a difference between our 55 and our 52. And that's medicine. Way in the back, we're going to go back there to 991. 991. Where is that? Almost at the end of this book. And there's just tiny one-word little bitty differences back here. So our 99152 is for the same MD, and then 55 will be for other than. So 2 MDs. So we just need to search our question to see who did what. We had an orthopedic surgeon reduce the fracture. Who gave the shot of sedative? The ER doctor did the sedative, but the orthopedic surgeon fixed the fracture. So we had 2 MDs on the same patient at the same time. So we're going to pick our 55. So that'll be D is our answer. If it's the same MD, or I saw a question today that had a nurse, just a RN, nurse administer under the orthopedics direction, then it was the same. We billed the same MD. If that makes sense. I saw one of those questions today. So if the nurse gives the injection, it's under the 52 or 51. If it's another MD, actual MD, then we can bill the 55. It's okay if you have your notes. You've got your stuff highlighted, same MD, and then we've got our other one where it says other MD. You just need to have your notes written, 2 MDs. Yep. I'm not going to have you staring at her. You be nice. Just take it one code at a time. Got you down to 50-50, then do your 2 differences. And make your notes and your questions. And there's a full explanation of what's going on. But hopefully I make it a little bit easier than reading that mess. 2 MDs, 55. 1 MD, 51. 1 MD and a nurse, 51. Or 52. All right. Let's do this one. We've got 24 and 25. Yeah. Lab is harder. It is. Lab is about more of the specimen that you use and the test that is going to be done. Like if you're an enzyme or an analyzer, or if you use your eyes to visualize, all that kind of stuff. Chloe, what are you doing? You okay? All right, 9-8. Go. All right, 9-8. Nine, 8, 2, 4, 9, 8. Thank you, Anointed. That's awesome. 9, 8, 2, 4. What header are we under? Endoscopies or arthroscopies with our 2, 4, 2, 5? and R27. Yep. All right, let's see. What do we do into this shoulder? We doing a Mumford's procedure, or are we doing something with a bovine or other kind of manipulation, grafting? What's our one-word differences? Are we shaving, debriding? What are we doing? We did a scope. We did a decompression and a resection of the shoulder. We did do some chiseling. We used a rotor-rooter and ground off some distal area. Looks like we ran into a large cyst too. Anybody got notes over here about what's going on? The differences between our 24 and 25. We've got our bursectomy or distal clavectomy, including the AC resection, right? I think that's all we did. Lysis, I don't think we did that. We didn't see any adhesions or anything that we manipulated into that. Didn't see anything like that. We can't use our 26 because we could as an add-on code, but not as the very first code. Our 26 is where we get our decompression from, though. So it can be our secondary codes. We could use those two together. Yep, we did the decompression, which gets you the add-on code, right? And that distal rotor-rootering that shoulder out, resectioning it, fixing the surface of the bone is our 24. And that's our decompression. Can't forget your lefts. Yep. They're always working up in here and shaving off or partially removing some clavicle bones and stuff like that. Here's your rationale. Hold on, let me go yell at my kid for just a second. Oh gosh. Travis, did you start another load of wash? No. I just did something that I said earlier. There's some other blankets. Okay, but you had some other blankets in there. You wanted to start. Child, come here and answer me. Is there anything in the washing machine right now? No. Are you going to start those in the washing machine? I already did. I just put them in the dryer. Half of them were already still in the laundry room. Lord help that child. Him and my machines. Gonna be the death of me. So decompression is your one word for your 26 code. And your resection, the AC resection, is your one word for the 24. AC resection is the one word for the 24, and decompression is your one word for the 26. Yep, decompression is for the add-on code. All right. All right. All right. What else we got? Somebody said this question was on their exam this weekend. Or no, somebody said they were asked this question in a job interview, actually. Getting my conversations mixed up. At a job interview, they wanted to know the difference between the calendar years of 21 and 22. What happened? In the calendar year 21 and 22, in which setting do the 21 E&M guidelines apply? Yep. We no longer need our history exam. All we need is MDM or time. Which one of these E&M guidelines applies? Which ones did they upset and change? I got two C's. C is the answer, yes. And they keep bringing up these 95 and 97 documentation guidelines. I've read them. They're not anything different than really what's already in the CPT book. I don't know why. I'm wondering if they'll get rid of them for the 2023 year because they're redoing all the emergency room, hospital, nursing homes, and all that stuff for the 2023 year. So we'll see. We'll see. Is that it? That's the last question that I had for tonight. That was it. I hope that was helpful. Lots of conversations about books and book prep and fixing those out of code sequences. Can't tell you how helpful that is. Be sure to get that done. You don't need to memorize all this stuff. You just need to be able to get enough practice in the practice questions, get some notes written in, and organize it so that it can be easily found, for sure. Postmortem exams could be on the exam. Yep. Knowing which modifiers go in lab path or which ones go in medicine. Super helpful. Can't tell you how helpful that is. Moving your guidelines to the codes is super helpful. Wednesday we'll do another live for 2 hours, Arizona time zone, and if there's any section y'all want to go over, do a shout out, or if y'all have any practice exam questions that y'all have with these flaps, these different peptile flaps. I'm on the hunt for those questions. The ones that are weird. These formation of flaps right in this area, delay of flaps, transfer of flaps. If anybody sees any questions around here from AAPC, I would love to see some more. I only have one example, and I think we definitely could use some more for sure in this area. Workshop coming, probably not till October 23rd. Time is just gotten away Yeah, because the boys are going to be out of school for 10 days for fall break from the 8th through the 16th. That takes away 2 weekends there. My oldest birthday is the 29th. Oh, geez. So the 23rd is probably the soonest I can do it. We'll see. October is already here, guys. It's Friday, right? Oh my gosh, or Saturday. Yeah, October. It's just crazy how fast these weeks go by. I've got, thank you for the heart. That was pretty. That was cool, Flawless. Or whoever. Oh, and Noita did that. Thank you. Thank you. Flawless, what did you say? What was different but procedures corrected was within order. I was right or wrong for choosing them. I had an exam Saturday. There were some answers that you had highlighted in pink, but the diagnosis codes was different, but the procedures correct within the order was right or wrong for choosing them. Yes, this will be posted up on YouTube for sure. Absolutely. I will post this up. I posted a ton of other ones. You're welcome, Tiff. And up on YouTube this week. Got a ton more stuff up there. And I will be back again on Wednesday. We'll do some more for sure. I've got tutoring, I think, with Miss Edwards in the morning. Who else do I have this week? Let's see. Thursday, I've got Debbie. Friday, I got Nessie. Yes, so not too bad. So if somebody's needing it, let me know. Next week, I've got Liz and Deb. I've got some I'm going to have to reschedule because I'm going to be out of town. The 11th with Liz, the 13th with Erica. I'm going to have to reschedule 2 of them. So, unfortunately, if I can. But other than that, you study like a maniac. Good job. Mean, I can't wait for you to take your exam. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I know you're going to do amazing. You're going to be up in the 90th percentile, and I'm not jinxing you. You're going to do so good. Was there anything else that she's told me? I'm sure there was that was on the exam. Where's my little sticky note? I feel like I'm leaving out something I wanted to say tonight, and I don't know what it was, but I'm sure I'll think of it, and I will make sure to put it down for Wednesday night. Messenger workshop. No, I don't see it. Don't forget, y'all can still use that coupon on Etsy. You can email me here for entering in the raffle. Just put raffle in the header. Workshops. This is the coupon code for if you are on my website purchasing anything. That is the coupon for there. That's my phone number. Where did I put her sticky note where I had all the stuff written down? I gotta find it. This stuff written down for what was on her exam. She had some page numbers down, just some codes. She took it online, so she wasn't able to mark the codes, but was able to fold up the page numbers. So I'm going to try to add those to what's been on the exam in the last 45 days. It's just going to be page numbers, but at least you know what page number she was on and what they were looking at as possible answers on her exam. I'll let y'all know when I get that updated on there. But again, I will see you guys on Wednesday. Yes, weekdays, evenings are okay if it's a Tuesday or Thursday, because I don't do lives on those nights. So I can work those in. I'm trying to get some gym time in so that I'm not sitting at this desk all the time. And so I'm trying to find some time to get away for an hour a day to do that. But today I did not go. But other than that, I've got auditing coming up too in October that I got to get started on. And the new books will be here probably Saturday. So it's going to be crazy. All right, guys, don't forget, look up stuff in the Knowledge Center at AAPC. Tons of information there. Super helpful. Yes, gym is good, except for it makes my knees so sore. All right, guys. I will see y'all on Wednesday. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you for the 8,000 likes. Wow. That's a record for a while. Good night, guys.